And speaking of technology, the internet just seems to pervade everything these days. Now we have alternate distribution channels and PSAPs, and how do you folks deal with these?
That's a hard one, because a lot of people will say, well, what makes you different than this? And I say, it's our experience. It's our ability to do it right. If you get something mail order, who are you going to go to when it's not working, when it's too loud, when it's, it could potentially even hurt their ears? So I think that we really have to do the counseling piece that everybody's been referring to, is really inform them, well, you get kind of what you pay for, unfortunately. So if you're going for the $100, PSAP you can get online, what are you really getting for that? So that's a very difficult one, and it's unfortunately coming up more and more. But I think looking at our reputations, looking at, always providing the best service you can provide to the patient is the best way to approach that.
I think the repeat users, they know what they're getting.
Right.
They're not really the issue when United Healthcare first hit that. They I had a couple customers that thought before we knew it was them, that they new customers to us, but they'd worn hearing aids, and they were waiting until January because their insurance was supposed to cover. And I'm like, and you have a lot of people that's insurance changes. Well, then in January, when they brought their card in, and I'm like, oh.
Right.
But one lady had she had a hole in her eardrum, and her wax guard was laying, little metal wax guard was laying I showed her on the screen, and she's like, and then she told me the insurance, and I'm like, oh, you have to get this over to you. She's like, what? I'm writing the Attorney General, da-da-da-da. She goes, can you get that spring out? I'm like, not on your life. But I can get you a doctor that can. So I'm not touching that thing. It's going to jump down in there.
Right.
But so the repeat users, they know they need you. They know what to do. It's the younger generation that goes, I can go to Best Buy and, buy a little personal device. Why can't I buy a hearing aid and get it for $300 over the internet? Yeah, it's a problem. It's definitely a problem. So all you can do is try to counsel them and explain what takes place.
Correct.
And it's a
Well,
problem.
and plus there's a lot of those users that have tried several of the internet sales and mail order type hearing devices, and then they finally give up and come in and buy a real hearing aid and get some good technology.
Right.
Yeah, but what happens if they go that route and then they're turned off by hearing aids in general? That's the thing that bothers me.
Yeah.
Correct.
I think that's the bigger risk.
That's what worries me. And the sad part of it is we're aggravated about it, but I think we're fighting something that we're going to have to deal with anyway.
Right.
I think the internet and the online stuff's going to be there, but I had a couple that came in to see me the other day from Naples. They used to be here and they moved down there. And she's telling me that she's got this coverage and she can get an instrument from, I guess, through United Healthcare, through that high innovation, whatever, like $390. I'm thinking, they have a guy that'll work with her down there. How do you do that? And then what do you get?
Right.
How do you divvy that up? So if there's a dive into this, and you're diving down to price, how does all that work out? I don't see how that works.
Yeah.
I don't see how we make that work.
I
But I do know it's coming. We're going to have to
Right.
deal with. We can't stick our head in the sand.
Right.
But I think it's going to discourage a lot of people. I really do.
I think it's important to bring up those main questions, like who am I going to go to for support? And so to bring that up to the consumer before they go that route, well, make sure you ask, what's going to happen if you have an issue with it, because
Right.
there's always issues with instruments somewhere down the line. So who do you go to? What are you going to do in this situation? If it's not fit correctly, if it hurts, what are you going to do? So there's a lot of big questions, and I say if you ask those and you're not satisfied with the results, then that's
right. And if you don't know them, because I've had them
Yes.
come in and I said, well, okay, what do you have to do? Well, I have to get a hearing test. Okay, so you want me to provide you with a hearing test, but I'm not going to really have an opportunity to explain to you what we can provide and what our cost would be, because you're going to simply use the test to send it out. That's not really a fair transaction.
That about wraps it up for the roundtable. I greatly appreciate all of you participating and for the wonderful ideas and comments. So for the Hearing Review, I'm Karl Strom. Thanks for watching.